Have you ever stopped to wonder what a single day really looks like from the planet's perspective? Well, that's what we're about to do. We're going to synchronize our clocks with the very heartbeat of the world and find out together.
So that's the big question, right? What does Earth actually experience between one sunrise and the next? We're going to journey across continents, dive deep into the oceans, and rise up into the atmosphere to witness this incredible, intricate dance of a single 24-hour cycle.
Okay, so our story, it's got to start with the dawn. But listen, this is way more than just a pretty sunrise. We're talking about a planetary scale awakening, a giant wave of energy just sweeping across the entire globe.
So here's our game plan. We're going to follow this sun's path through 4 key phases: dawn, midday, twilight, and night. And believe me, each one shows us something completely different about our planet's daily life.
You know, morning doesn't just creep in. It races. Get this, 1,670 kilometers per hour. That's the speed of what's called the Terminator line, the edge between night and day, as it just blitzes across the Earth. It's literally a wave of daylight waking up the entire world.
And the second that light hits, it's like the planet takes its first big breath of the day. Seriously, trillions of plants, everything from the giant trees in the Amazon to the teeny tiny phytoplankton in the ocean, they all kickstart photosynthesis. And that single process, it pumps out nearly half of the world's daily oxygen supply before it's even noon. It's like this great, big morning exhale from the Earth itself. So as that sunlight floods across the continents, it's not just waking up the natural world. Oh no, it's kicking off another really powerful rhythm, one that we created. You can almost hear it, the pulse of human civilization starting to beat. And this wave of human activity, it's so perfectly synchronized that you can literally see it from space. As we all wake up, energy grids have to surge to meet the demand. Internet traffic actually follows the sun around the planet. And all our concrete cities start soaking up heat, which creates these things called urban heat islands that totally reshape the local climate.
But here's the thing. All our human activity is totally tangled up with the big natural systems. At the exact same time our cities are warming up, that morning sun is also driving this massive water cycle. We're talking 1,000 cubic kilometers of water being evaporated and then rained back down across the globe. To put that in perspective, that's enough water to fill Lake Superior every single day.
Okay, so now we're at midday. The sun's energy is at its absolute peak. And you might think this is a time for a siesta, but nope. For the planet, this is when its engines, I'm talking both the biological ones and the geological ones, are just running at full throttle.
It's during these peak sunlight hours that some of the most critical work on the entire planet gets done. Think about it. Bees and all the other pollinators, they are at their absolute busiest, and they're responsible for pollinating more than 80% of the world's flowering plants. This frantic midday hustle is basically what holds up our entire global food system. It's that important.
So while all that life is buzzing around on the surface, the planet itself is in this constant, super slow-motion dance. Way down beneath our feet, the tectonic plates are just relentlessly shifting. Now, it's only at about the same speed your fingernails grow, but don't let that fool you. That tiny movement is enough to trigger hundreds of earthquakes we can actually detect all across the globe every single day.
All that geological activity is just one part of this big energy engine. Another huge part is how the Earth deals with the insane amount of energy coming from the sun. And that's where a cool concept called albedo comes in. Basically, bright surfaces like the polar ice caps act like these giant mirrors. They reflect sunlight right back into space, which helps keep the planet's temperature balanced. It's a crucial daily defense system against overheating. All right, the sun is starting to dip below the horizon, and now the planet goes through another really dramatic transformation. See, twilight isn't just the day ending. It's more like a global handover, a real changing of the guard.
Okay, check this out, because this is one of the most fundamental shifts you'll see. Those same plants that spent all day long pumping out oxygen for us, well, now they switch gears completely. At night, they do what we do. They respire. They actually consume oxygen. The entire planet's breathing pattern literally reverses itself. How wild is that?
Meanwhile, down in the oceans, something absolutely incredible is happening. It's called diel vertical migration. Every single night, trillions of tiny zooplankton and other sea creatures swim up from the dark depths to feed near the surface. And get this, if you measure it by sheer biomass, this is the largest migration on Earth, and it happens every single day. It's also super important, playing a huge role in pulling carbon down into the deep ocean.
So yeah, night is anything but dormant. It's really a time for repair, and for all these hidden rhythms to take over. Did you know that over 60% of all mammal species actually come alive in the darkness? The planet itself kind of exhales the day's heat, releasing it as infrared radiation. And without the sun's warmth pressing down, even the Earth's crust contracts, just a tiny, tiny bit.
Okay, let's pull the camera all the way back now for that final, big picture, planetary perspective. When you start to weave all these different threads together, I mean, the sheer scale of what happens in just one 24-hour period is just staggering. It's hard to even wrap your head around.
Because remember, while all this drama is unfolding on the surface, the planet itself has been hurtling through space. In just one day, the same day we've been talking about, the Earth travels 2.6 million kilometers in its orbit around the Sun. Just incredible.
And on that epic journey, something like 8 million different species have just lived out their day. They've been competing, cooperating, just trying to survive. It's this unbelievable biosphere of countless stories, all unfolding in every single moment.
And, well, this brings us back to our own impact, doesn't it? In that very same 24-hour window, we, humanity, generate about 10 million tons of carbon dioxide. Now, yeah, that's just one day's contribution, but it's a pretty stark reminder of how our daily rhythm, added up over time, is changing the planet's ancient one. It's this steady pressure on a system that's been in balance for millennia.
So in the end, a day is so much more than just the planet spinning, right? It's this incredible symphony of geology, biology, and yeah, civilization, all playing together in this fragile, relentless harmony. The big takeaway here is that we aren't just passengers living on this planet. We are part of its daily rhythm. And so, knowing that every single thing we do, every light we switch on, becomes another note in Earth's daily song, well, how does that change the way we live our day?